Station, this is Houston. Are you ready for the event? NBC Connecticut, this is Mission Control Houston. Please call station for a voice check.
Station, this is Steve Glazier with NBC Connecticut. How do you hear me?
Hi, Steve. I can hear you loud and clear. I'm excited to chat with you today.
Well, that's amazing. Thank you so much, Jack. We'll get started. I appreciate your time. Appreciate it. So we'll jump right in, Jack, and it's so nice to see you. Um, if you can, to the best of your knowledge, do you know where you are for this event, your location as the station as we chat?
That's a great question, Steve. Thanks for asking. As you know, the International Space Station is orbiting 250 miles above the Earth. I'm looking at our current position. We're over the northern Pacific, not quite to Hawaii. We're on a downward track. We're going to touch the southern tip of South America before we swing back up towards Africa and Europe. And we're hurtling along at 17,500 miles an hour. It's a pretty exciting place to live and work.
That's amazing. Can you talk about your mission currently on the space station?
Yeah, absolutely. As you mentioned, my name's Jack Hathaway, and I'm a NASA astronaut, and I'm up here on the International Space Station with Expedition 74. Our Expedition 74 team is 3 NASA astronauts, an ESA astronaut, and 3 Roscosmos cosmonauts. And we're up here on the International Space Station doing scientific investigations, technology demonstrations, Earth observations, and many other things as we learn to live and work and operate here in low Earth orbit so we can learn more about how to live and operate in space on our way to Moon and Mars.
Okay, Jack, how long have you been on the ISS and how long in total do you plan on being there?
I launched on the 13th of February, and we docked here on the 14th of February. So it's been just a little over 2 weeks on the space station here. We're going to be up here for 7 to 8 months. We're thinking October, November timeframe is the plan. Crew swap over for our Crew Dragon capsule. So that'll be about 7 or 8 months for me and the 3 other astronauts, cosmonauts that came up here with me on Crew Dragon. I'm not sure if you know this or not, but this is the 25th year of continuous human presence in low Earth orbit, primarily here on the International Space Station. It's a pretty awesome opportunity to be able to do my 8 months, my little chapter with my friends and colleagues here in this long line of people that have been living in low Earth orbit for 25 years.
That's awesome. Congratulations and thanks for all your work. That is amazing. Can you talk about your ties to Connecticut?
Yeah, absolutely, Steve. I was born and raised in South Windsor, Connecticut. Lived there my whole childhood. Went to the public schools there in South Windsor. So I spent 18 years growing up, studying, doing high school, running cross country. I did a little theater in the afternoons. I was a Boy Scout as well while I was in Connecticut. And then when I graduated high school, I went off to the Naval Academy to join the Navy. But I remember very fondly my 17 and a half years in Connecticut before I went off and joined the Navy.
I will I will give South Windsor and all of Connecticut your best. I'm in West Hartford, Connecticut, and just a short trip away. So if you can, talk about how one becomes an astronaut, and maybe your story.
Sure, absolutely. Becoming an astronaut, there's a lot of different ways to become an astronaut. You can be a scientist, you can be an engineer, you can be a medical doctor, you can be a science researcher, an academic researcher type doctor. There's all types of different experiences that become astronauts because we need all sorts of skill sets while we're up here. We need the medical skill set, we need the scientific research skill set, We need the test pilot skill set. So it's really quite awesome to be in the astronaut corps, where we have so many different people from so many varied backgrounds, really around the world when you take into account all our international partners. But for me, my path was to become a test pilot. I joined the Navy. I went to Annapolis after high school, and then I selected to become a naval aviator, and I flew F-18s in the Navy for about 15 years before I got accepted into the NASA program. In that time, while I was flying airplanes in the Navy, I also went to test pilot school on exchange with the Royal Air Force of Britain, and I did my year program over there before I came back to the U.S. To do my test pilot stint in Southern Maryland, which I greatly enjoyed. NASA likes to hire test pilots because we have the background and experience in new vehicle development to understand the human-machine interface, how the controls are supposed to operate, how different hardware and software all comes together with the human in the loop at the end of the program to be able to safely operate spacecraft in the unforgiving environment of the vacuum of space. So that was my experience to become an astronaut, but becoming a test pilot or flying for the military is not the only way. I'm up here with two other academic doctors and my fellow, or also my ESA colleague, Sophie, who's a helicopter test pilot. So there's lots of different ways to become an astronaut, and if you're interested in becoming an astronaut, I recommend continuing to study hard and find the topic and the environment that you love. Like for me, it was flying planes. I started doing it when I was in high school, when I was living in South Windsor. Took my first flying lessons there, and I just absolutely fell in love with it. And the Astronaut Corps is looking for people that are smart and capable and love what they do in all sorts of different backgrounds. So find that piece of excitement for you, the thing that you love to do, and just get really good at it. And you too could have an opportunity to live aboard the International Space Station.
That's amazing. I get tired of holding the microphone, and I wish I could do that too. Jack, is this your first time at the International Space Station or first time in space?
Yeah, absolutely. It is my first time both in space and aboard the International Space Station. I'm a rookie astronaut. I came up here on Crew Dragon. There were four of us. Sophie, my ESA colleague, and I were both rookies. And our commander, Dr. Jessica Meir, and our Roscosmos cosmonaut, Andrei Fedorov, were both experienced and have been here before. It was kind of a great setup for us because Sophie and I had Jessica and Andrei to learn from, to understand all the quirks of how to live in space, what to expect. It's really awesome to have that kind of mentorship and experience with you. And then we got up here, my classmate, Chris Williams, we have a classmate when we have classes that start the astronaut training together, and Chris and I started the astronaut training together in 2022. He was up here, came up on a Soyuz spacecraft just a few months before me. So I got up here. He's a rookie as well, but he's been up here for 3 months. So he's got the whole lay of the land, and he knows what's going on. So he's been great to teach us rookies how to live in space, which is can be harder than you think at first.
I'm sure it is a big adjustment. Can you talk about the emotional feeling launching into space, going into that low Earth orbit? Did that make you appreciate Earth even more? Did it make you look at things differently? Talk about that experience.
Yeah, it's simultaneously an experience. Launching into space is simultaneously an experience that you're sort of familiar with from the training, and you, on another hand, you can't be prepared for it all. Like what the displays look like, the type of things we were going to experience, the systems that we had to monitor during the launch, all that felt pretty normal because we've been doing it in training for the past year and a half, 2 years. So the training has been awesome to prepare us to know what to expect. But on the other hand, there's just no feeling like strapping yourself into a rocket, launching into a space on a night launch like we got to do, feeling the stages of the rocket separate as we go from stage 1 to stage 2 and that jolt, and then finally the zero G once you get up into space and you're floating around for the first time. I'd experienced zero G, 10 or 15 or 20 seconds at a time in a fighter jet, but obviously never not permanently like we are now, or semi-permanently. So it's just such a wonderful experience, floating around, feeling what that's like. The first opportunity to get out of your seat, get out of our suits, and look through the great windows that we have on Crew Dragon, and see Earth, and just see the vibrant colors, the tenuous atmosphere that's just clinging on to the edge as you look at the rim of the Earth, and the speed at which it rotates underneath you. It's all such an incredible, beautiful experience. It's really makes you appreciate all the wonderful things that we have on Earth. It makes you see how interconnected everything is as you see the weather systems rotate around Earth and just cross between continents and across oceans. It's really just like a once in a lifetime type perspective to be able to look down both from the capsule on our way to the space station, and now that we're on station, through the windows that we have here to see what Earth looks like from 250 miles up.
And I'm one of the meteorologists at NBC Connecticut in West Hartford, so I'm studying the lower atmosphere all the time. But I am always amazed at the pictures from space. Has it been just amazing looking out the window and seeing all different parts of the Earth you may not have seen?
Yeah, I mean, I've been around a chunk of the world in the Navy, but I haven't been around it in a way like I have now on this mission. It's just incredible to see all different parts of the world, of the different mountain ranges and the deserts and the large weather systems. We saw some of the Saharan desert being blown across the Atlantic just the other day. There was some aurora coming off during one of our night passes yesterday. You see all parts of the world that you never thought you'd be able to see from a perspective that is really life-changing.
Okay, Jack, that wraps up my questions. Would you like to add anything else or say anything else to the folks here in Connecticut?
To the folks back in Connecticut, I'd just like to say thank you. Living in Connecticut, growing up in South Windsor, in the New England area was just wonderful. It's part of who I am. It's part of who I'm going to be forever. I had a lot of great opportunities growing up in the state and the region, and I'm forever grateful for all those opportunities. And I hope I'm doing you guys proud. Thanks for supporting me. I really appreciate it.
And one last thing, I know you've been showing examples of microgravity with the microphone. Did you want to show anything else?
I'll do a quick flip for. Thanks for your time, Steve. Floating around and being able to experience microgravity is such a wonderful experience.
I'll send all of the best from all of us here in the Nutmeg State and the Constitution State to you. So thank you, Jack, for your time.
Absolutely. Have a good rest of your day.
Station, this is Houston ACR. Thank you. That concludes our event.
Thank you to all participants. Station, we are now resuming operational audio communications.